Let's talk about Best of the Worst from The Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle-earth. That's the top 3 cards from that set that are seeing play in 1% or less of decks since that set's release. We also have an honorable mention for this list. For our honorable mention, we have Assault on Us Gileath. For 3 red and X, we get a sorcery, Amass Orcs X, then goblins and orcs you control gain double strike and haste until end of turn. I wanted to talk about this one really quick because it's the cheapest way that we've ever gotten to give your whole team double strike. So if you just pay the 3 red and you're running a specifically goblin or orc only deck, then you can give your whole team double strike for just 3 mana. And that's the best, most efficient rate we've ever gotten that, even though it is specifically for that creature type. So I do think that it's worth considering if you're in an orc or a goblin deck. Coming in at number 3, we have Radagast the Brown. For 2 and 2 green, we get a 2/5 legendary creature avatar wizard. Whenever Radagast the Brown or another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is that creature's mana value. You may reveal a creature card that doesn't share a creature type with a creature you control from among those cards and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Radagast the Brown does ask a lot from you in deck building before it becomes excellent, but I think once you've gone through those hurdles, this is pretty good. So maybe just check the contents of your deck and see if you've got a lot of creatures of the same type, then you can avoid this. But if you don't have a lot of creatures of the same type, Radagast the Brown might be pretty good as long as you've got somewhere close to 40 creatures in your deck. It does serve the same purpose as a Beast Whisperer, the downside being this can whiff, the upside being this always gets you something that you can cast, a creature, whereas the Beast Whisperer is going to sometimes be drawing you lands. So sometimes that's better, sometimes this will be better. I think it is worth consideration though. Coming in at number 2, we have Gloin, Dwarf Emissary. For 2 and a red, we get a 3/3 legendary creature, Dwarf Advisor. Whenever you cast a historic spell, create a treasure token. This ability triggers only once each turn. Tap, sacrifice a treasure, go to target creature. Okay, so you're probably only playing Gloin in a deck that cares about historic things, so that does limit where it can go. But once you have a high enough density of those spells in your deck, getting a rebate of 1 treasure each spell you cast is excellent. And I think it would be worth considering even if that's all that it did. The fact that it gives you an additional thing to do with those treasures if you don't have anything to cast them on, I think just push this over the top, and Gloin is an excellent consideration for any historic deck. Coming in at number 1, we have Frodo, Determined Hero. For 1 and a white, we get a 2/2 legendary creature, Halfling Warrior. Whenever Frodo, Determined Hero enters the battlefield or attacks, you may attach target equipment you control with mana value 2 or 3 to Frodo. As long as it's your turn, prevent all damage that would be dealt to Frodo. I think people saw Frodo can't do anything with Colossus Hammer and decided he wasn't worth an include, but I think that's a mistake. Most of your equipment in your deck, probably about 90%, is going to be within that 2 to 3 mana value range. So just check your numbers and see if maybe you'd reevaluate Frodo there. The other thing is I think Frodo's specifically good in Boros equipment decks because Boros can more reliably give their creatures haste. Since he triggers on enter the battlefield and attack, having haste is going to make him really good. And then the other reason I think he's super powerful in Boros is Boros has these damage-based board wipes. So you can drop a Blasphemous Act, clear out all your opponent's creatures, and then Frodo will be there left standing, ready to clean up. That's it for The Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle-earth, Best of the Worst. This set has seen quite a bit of adoption, so it was interesting to take a look at the lesser used cards. They're pretty specific to the decks they want to go in, but I still think they were pretty sweet. What do you guys think?